Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the SolsWriteHouse Empowerment Center. And we have a wonderful guest with us today that will be joining us every month.
Three-time author, two books, The Dynamics of the North in English and in Spanish. But my new book, The Cry of the Millennial. This book is on fire. People, you have to go to and look at our reviews that we're getting for this book here. And this is a must read. You need to get this book in your library. And it's been out just for over about 6 weeks now. And I've come to find out that not only are millennials buying this book, but the parents and the grandparents are getting this book. And the response that I'm getting is that since they're reading this book, since I raised 4 millennials, that a lot of things they didn't quite understand now is coming coherent to them. They understand some of the things that their children was trying to relate to them, but they wouldn't listen. It's all in this book here. And I really wanted to highlight the Lady of the House, which is a rope from my daughter that went through a series of things from college, from having a baby to going to college, finish college, and getting married, etc. It was a great move for her. So I call her the Lady of the House. Wow. And I would like to maybe read something a little later on about some of her experiences, what brought her through. And this is every millennial woman need to read that chapter, the Lady of the House. It's imperative that they read it. They must read it because it's going to enlighten you on a lot of situations. What do I do when I get pregnant? What do I do? I'm in college, but I'm pregnant. She has a book. And what do I do after that? Once my daughter, she graduated from college, cum laude, and she was Magnum with a 3.7. And her and my oldest granddaughter walked across the stage at the same time. She was pregnant. She graduated from college, but she was pregnant when she walked across the stage. So her and my granddaughter graduated at the same time. And how she went on from there, having not listened to some things like a lot of millennials do. They don't listen, etc. And had to go through this situation with a bad relationship. However, she was able to regroup and start then talking to other young women and men that get a lady pregnant. It's men and women. It works both ways, and they're in college. But she was able to turn this whole thing around. And chapter 2 talks about the Lady of the House. It's imperative that they get this book and read that. That is the highlight, I think, of this book. I like all the chapters, but the Lady of the House. Well, yes, I want to read just a little bit of the Lady of the House, if it's all right.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I guess the responsibility now of having a child. You finish college, you got a child. What do I do? And I wrote in moving forward. Here I am, 21, just graduated from college. Yes, my baby walked across the stage with me, literally 8 months pregnant. Reality has definitely set in. It troubled me for some time that I would place myself in this situation. However, my immediate family helped me through it all. I found myself advocating for young men and women who would listen. I have been there and done that. I know what it is like to want something so bad and not need it. I know how hard it can be. However, I want them to know that self-value and realize that they were worthy of the best and not just anybody deserves the best. That everybody deserves the best. In the midst of it all, I want young people and people in general to know that even if you find yourself in a situation such as this one, the one she was in, you can do it. I graduated pregnant with honors, magna cum laude. Went back and graduated again as a single parent with honors, summa cum laude. That's almost a 4.0. She went back to graduate from college. She went back and graduated again. She was still a singer. And now getting ready to graduate again. She's getting ready to graduate from college now again. As a married woman, she's married now. Not sure about the honors this time, but the point is made. If you can do it, and you can do it, seek God, follow Him. and he will reward you. Was it hard? Yes. Was it still worth it? Yes.
Ooh, that's powerful.
This is powerful. And people that are telling me they are reading this lady of the house, they're captivated with it, with the energy and the excitement. It seems like it's like a story, so to speak. When they read it, when they're reading this book, it comes alive. It comes off the paper, seems like, and comes alive. It's what I'm getting, what I'm hearing from people now. It's hitting home now. Understand some of the things that I should have been listening to when some of the millennials was trying to advocate and talk to me and explain things. But this book is helping the parents, not only just the millennials and the grandparents, because we know in this season now, a lot of grandparents now are having to pick up the pieces, otherwise, hold the shoulders of parents to help raise folks now. So it's this millennial generation is imperative. This is a strong move for millennials that's from age 40 to 26. From 26 to 40. If anybody got a child between 26 and 40, they are millennial.
That's right.
And they are complicated, they're educated, they're smart. It's just, the book is a must read for everybody.
Yeah. They think they understand, but they don't. Nobody knows the root of my pain. Nobody knows the root of my pain. Nobody knows the way that I pray. Nobody knows the root of my pain. Nobody knows the root of my pain. Nobody knows the man that I pray. Do you call Jesus when you're down? Do you call Jesus when nobody else is around? Tell me, do you call Jesus? Holy Ghost fire. He's got the power. Nobody understands. Nobody knows the root of my pain. Nobody knows the root of my pain. I just want you to know I praise you. Oh, I praise you. Do you got a praise in your heart? Has since something good happened to you? Do you have a praise in your heart? Got a praise for the people. Got a praise for the unbelievers. I got a praise. You got a praise. Praise Him. Oh, praise Him.
If you look at the book cover, speaks volume. I have all these millennials around an altar, and right there, that's watching, and the millennials are crying out to the Lord because nobody understands. Most millennials think that people think, because they're young, they're not baby boomers, that they don't know a whole lot, and so that name cry, because I've had four, and I know how they'll come out and ask different things. Why this? Why that? The credibility. Why do other people do this, and that? Then some saying, well, maybe I need to leave from home and not stay in my vicinity, but move, 3 or 4 states over. All of that, they're crying about their identity crisis. Many millennials are struggling with their identity. It's realistic. They're not sure. So, but nobody's listening.
Right.
If they have an identity problem, somebody should be listening, and this is what they're saying, and it's causing them to cry out. One of the chapters said the silent scream.
Right.
Chapter 3 is the silent scream. They're screaming, but who can hear? Who can hear them? Who has the time to take time out with these millennials, these complex individuals that are educated? Some are somebody's boss, but they are struggling with a lot of different things throughout their life. They had bad childhood. Some of them was raised in a single parent home, with a daddy or maybe a mama absent, and and realities kick in, and they're trying to figure this thing out. Maybe they're raising a real abuse on where the dad, maybe he might have was not only verbal but physical with the mama. Now that I'm grown up, I'm in my 20s. How do I deal with when I get in a situation like that? What do I do when I'm being verbally abused now? I'm being physically abused now. What do I do? And they're crying out. Chapter 3, the scream, the silent scream. What do I do? I'm crying on the inside, but nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. I'm in my 20s. I'm young. Well, that's what young folks do. They go through all these turmoil, but not knowing that these millennials are the backbone, so to speak, of society. Because if you're between 26 and 40, you are 3/4 of the workforce.
Wow.
3/4 of the people during that age group. So it's imperative that somebody listen to them. That's where we come up with the cry of the millennial. Round the altar, this book cover, and then the mother standing over them, the mother figure standing over the millennials, praying over them. This is what we should be doing for millennials. We should be praying for them and listening to them. Listening is an art. James 1:19 said, "Be swift to hear." There's a little scripture: slow to speak and slow to wrath. Right. So a person that listens is going to be a powerful person, and that's what millennials want. They want somebody to listen to them. They're crying out. They're crying to millennials. That's where it comes from.
Hey, you guys, as you all know, we always are doing soul messages of God. I want to give a shout out to Willie Inman Sr. for this book called The Cry of the Millennials. Make sure you get that book, and this is why. Hey, are you listening to our children? Oh, cry of the millennials. Are you listening? What are you doing to help the kids? Cry of the millennials. Woo, I love that song. God's watching y'all. No, God is watching. Don't you know He's watching? Talk about your brother or your sister. He's watching you. No better. Don't you know He's watching? He's watching. Eyes up to brother. He's watching. Hey, this is how the millennials feel right now. Y'all check out this song, My Bad. A millennial gave me this. It's my bad. Don't you get bad. Don't you wear my friend. But I gave you this title. You deserve it. Oh, my bad. Don't you get bad. Oh, mama, tell me what time that you only got 2 times. Third time is only and a millennial gave me that. A millennial called me up when they got this book. They ordered this book. And they're actually going to do it as a family Bible study. They actually are waiting on the book to come. Wow. And they're going to do this as a family Bible study. Someone saw the interview on Kingdom Purpose TV. They contacted me to let me know to tell you. Said, I want you to let Author Willie, the apostle, they called you the apostle, tell me, Apostle Inman, that when my book comes, me and my family going to sit down. Wow. And we're going to do this together as a family. Mama, daddy, and there's 3 sisters and brothers. And they all millennials. And what they're going to do is come together. You remember how we used to come together and watch the Cosby Show? That's right. Well, God is saying we live in a time now where this is going to be like the new Cosby Show. You need to sit down, find one day a week where you come together and you do this reading together as a group. This is what God is saying. So God is saying a lot of homes are going to get this book.
Yes.
It's going to become a Bible study for a lot of people. One of the things that blessed me, one of the millennials came up to me after hearing the show, and they said, Sherry, I got this feeling. I said, what kind of feeling you got? And they said, well, when I hear the cry of the millennial, he says, one of the first things he used to say was, my bad. Anytime they felt like they let somebody down or they didn't protocol, they like, my bad, I'm sorry. Kind of, I'm sorry ain't kind of a language they use, is my bad.
Right.
They don't know how to say I'm sorry. They say, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. And so if you don't listen to a millennial and understand that my bad is saying I'm sorry.
Right.
My bad, I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay, we want to hear I apologize because you feel like you're turning away from it. I'm sorry mean I'm sorry at the moment, I might do it again. But then my bad is taking acknowledgement that you realize what you just did. It's an accountability. Right. And when this millennial came to me and he was like, I don't say I'm sorry a lot, but I say my bad, which is saying I'm sorry.
Right.
But people don't get it. So I came up with the song, my bad, thought you had my back, thought you was my friend, but I gave you this title you didn't deserve. So what they're saying is sometimes we give people more of our authority over us in several areas of our life, and then the language that we have don't connect.
Yes.
So millennial language and how we were taught don't connect. Like we, say you sorry, but then they say, well, my bad. Now you mad. But understand that my bad is saying I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I did that song for that young person because I wanted older people to understand that when I put it in a song, it made so much sense because it ain't like I'm gonna sing the song, I'm sorry, thought you was my friend, because that don't sound right. It sounds sarcastic.
Right.
Millennials are sarcastic.
Yes, they are.
They are very sarcastic. They say things with no conscience.
Right.
If it rolls off, it just rolls off. But I sometimes feel like God honors sarcastic people because if it's in your heart, you've already sinned anyway. Right. So a millennial will let it go ahead and roll on off the tongue. Get it on out. They don't want to carry it. You feel me?
That's right.
And that was one of the things that touched me is with the young people. We got to get out of the cycle of how things used to be. People tell them all the time, well, I can remember back when I was young. Well, guess what? That's great. You can go back and remember. Thank God you still got a memory. And thank God you ain't got dementia. Thank God you ain't got Alzheimer's. But we don't live in that time no more.
That's right.
So it's just like me going back to my mama saying, well, mama, I can remember in 71, I think when I was born in 71, they still was call us out of our names, but we were able to use the same bathroom. So I didn't grow up with colored over here and white over here. They had just came out of that. Right. And when I was born in 71, growing up, and I'm 5 years old or 6 years old, I still heard the word nigger or something like that, but we were no longer separated. Everybody was together. And so one of the things I learned about this when I say get out of the cycle is get out of the cycle of the past.
Yes.
Because the past ain't coming back.
No.
I mean, 8 tracks ain't coming back. Our albums ain't coming back. Cassette tapes ain't coming back. So what make you think the 70s is coming back? Like, it's gone.
Right.
And millennial kids are just very forward kids. They take it at face value, and if it's in their heart, they let it out. And what I find even with Christian people, sometimes Christian people need to be a little bit more radical because they need to understand that if it's in your heart, it's what you feeling, but you don't say it. Just because you didn't say it don't mean you ain't thinking it.
Right.
And God knows your heart. So he'd rather you be honest. And I sit down with young people and I realize I can't correct you, but I can connect.
Right. There you go.
Because I got millennial children.
Yeah.
And, my kids experience death of my kids. So
what is he saying? What is he saying? And as I began to elaborate and tell them that I raised the 4 millennials, all my children are millennials, millennials born from 1981 to 1996, they are styled as a millennial. So anybody in that range, as I was saying, they are a millennial, and most folks have millennial children. Some either older ones or younger ones they're dealing with. And as you were saying, just the echo of what you were saying, get out the cycle. Chapter 3 talks about get out the cycle. And most millennials, like you said, they use different language, and if you're not listening, you're missing. Like, for instance, you'll make an accurate statement, and they'll say facts. They'll say the word facts. At first, I said, "Well, my youngest son, he's 26. He said, facts, Dad." I said, facts. What do you? He said, well, that's an accurate statement what you said. So we just say facts, FACTS, facts. And wow. That took me on to read in the book. That's a fact. That's a fact, Jack. Which is chapter 12 here in the book. And chapter 12 simply talks about that's a fact, Jack. It talks about the different points of the millennial, the age difference, the age group, what millennials like to do, and it's a lot of good points. I said earlier, the identity problem, the credibility that millennials are looking for. They're looking for older people to be credible, even if they are not. If that makes sense. They're looking for, if you're going to teach me or lead me, then I'm looking for you, for your facts to be in order.
That's right.
Even though if I don't do it, so that is a millennial. They want it now. They don't want to wait on it.
That's right.
If they're in church, then they want you. If you quote a scripture, or if you tell a millennial anything about the Bible, make sure you know where the scripture at, because they have no problem, like you said. This whatever come out. Actually, you say, well, where's that scripture at?
That's right.
You've got to make sure that what you're telling a millennial is facts.
That's right.
Because if it's not facts, they're gonna eat the fish and spat the bone. They're not gonna receive from you. They're looking for the facts, even though they may not give the facts, but they won't. They're looking for facts, right. And that's the complexity of a millennial. You want everything to be in order for you. However, you're not in order. So when you're dealing with millennials, that's why a lot of people have raised millennials, and some of the children they didn't even understand them.
Yes.
How you can raise 5, say you raise 5 children in the same house. However, they got the same mama, same daddy, same teacher every day, side the table and eat. But when they leave home, when they leave the nest, some you say, well, God, did they learn anything? Wow, I don't see nothing in them. Well, it's in them, but they're just not ready to, they're still doing their own thing. Millennials, once you give them the facts and they're ready to adjust to what is true, they'll fall in line. And this happens a lot. And I've seen it in my own house, where all I said to my daughter, I talked to her, she still got pregnant. I told her when she got pregnant, I said, well, if you get pregnant now, you might have to find somewhere to stay, which I really meant that. But when it did actually happen, the Lord told me, say, do not do that. That would be a bad move. That'd be the worst move I ever could have made, putting her out. I mean, that is a fact. That is a fact for sure. If I would have put her out, so she out have messed up, she probably wouldn't have been saved. She probably, I don't know what would happen, but that's why we've got to definitely make sure that we are doing what the Lord tells us when it comes to our children. I'll tell people anytime, because a person say something, you never, this is a statement, never say what you won't do.
That's right.
Never say what you won't do. And I know it for a fact, because I never would have thought that if she got pregnant, that she would have stayed there, because I had already said that I had a younger daughter there as well, trying to train her. But never say what you won't do. And so that helped her, and it helped me, and it helped get this book here off the ground, the cry of the millennials. The millennials are in trouble. Let's just be clear. They're in trouble. They need somebody to listen to. They want the truth, whether they're ready to hear it or not, but they want you still to tell them the truth.
That's right.
So this way it gets complicated when you say, well, now you want me to tell you the truth, but you ain't ready to listen to the truth. So this is how people have got off with millennials, and they've discarded them without, instead of telling you, I'm just not gonna mess with y'all. That's the wrong answer.
Right.
Go ahead and tell them the facts.
That's right.
And then let them deal with it. That's what a millennial wants.
That's
they
right.
They want to hear. They want to hear it. They want to hear it. But what bothers them is when the credibility of people that's trying to tell them something don't line up.
That's right.
Well, they're not line upon line, precept upon precept. Now you tell me not to do this, but you're still doing the same thing. Then that's where you lose a millennial. You'll lose him or her.
Right.
That's how they operate.
But credibility.
Right. You lose the credibility, and that's what has happened with a lot of millennials in this book. They have lost the credibility of people that they were supposed to look highly and think highly of, but the credibility was there, and that's our fault.
And we're going to have another song message from God.
Yeah. I just want to be like Jesus. I just want to be like Jesus. I just want to be like Jesus. I just want to be like Jesus.
The cry of the millennial. Get your copy today on a syllabus. Go to Willie on Facebook. I want to be like Jesus. Love you, millennials.
I just want to be like you. Make me more 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 like you. I just want to